Welcome to Ballet Bites, your daily deep dive into the world of dance and leadership transitions, where the spotlight is as much on artistry as it is on boardroom drama.
I'm really excited to jump right into these shakeups. So, what's the scoop with Miami City Ballet's new director?
Well, Gonzalo Garcia is taking over on August 11th, perfectly timed for Miami City Ballet's 40th anniversary, and the press release on June 16th, 2025, drops phrases like collaborative spirit and bold artistic ambition.
Bold indeed. That language totally suggests he's not just following tradition but reinventing the wheel.
Exactly. It's like he's promising a fusion. On one hand, you get the refined, precise geometry of Balanchine, and on the other hand, some contemporary, even Iberian textures with those Spanish roots he's got.
Right. And his resume is something else. Prix de Lausanne Gold at 15, principal at both San Francisco Ballet and New York City Ballet. That dual-coast pedigree should definitely broaden MCB's artistic palette.
Absolutely. And speaking of his Spanish lineage, critics are already murmuring about new commissions that might infuse Nacho Duado-style lyricism. Think bold, rhythmic, and very fresh moves alongside that classic Balanchine finesse.
It's like adding a dash of spice to a classic recipe, keeping things both traditional and, well, adventurous.
Exactly. And that kind of innovation is super needed in a US scene that still heavily leans on those traditional staples like nutcrackers and swan lakes.
Definitely. Now, shifting gears. What's the story with Hamburg Ballet and Demis Volpi's exit? There's been some buzz there, too.
Oh, yes. Hamburg Ballet had a rather abrupt departure with Volpi after just one season. The official line from the Hamburg State Opera on June 10th said the split was amicable, but dancers spilled that the environment had turned pretty toxic.
Toxic, that's a strong word. What did the dancers say exactly?
Well, over half of the 63-member troupe actually signed a complaint letter citing muddled rehearsal schedules, shifting casting protocols, and a leadership style that was dismissive at best. And get this, 5 first soloists quit outright. It paints a picture of a company struggling to maintain that creative cohesion.
Wow, that's intense. On one hand, you can see how a director can really inspire an ensemble. On the other, poor leadership can really derail everything.
For sure. I mean, it's like, imagine prepping for a dream role in Giselle and then, bam, the reins get passed around so much that your role, your identity, just shifts completely.
Exactly. And I'm a bit curious, though. Can a director truly turn around a toxic environment quickly? Or is it a longer uphill battle?
That's a fair point. And, respectfully, I think a swift transition might provide relief. But healing the underlying issues takes time. Board confidence and dancer morale are like the pulse of any company. When they're off, everything suffers.
I get it. It's not just about the artistic vision, but also about how the leader engages with their team, ensuring everyone feels valued and heard.
Exactly. And that brings us to the bigger picture. Are we witnessing a generational shift in leadership within ballet? Since 2022, we've seen a string of departures and fresh appointments, right?
Absolutely. Take Tamara Rojo's exit from English National Ballet, Frederic Olivieri returning to La Scala in March 2025, and then Susan Jaffe at ABT. It's like boards are hunting for leaders who can mix classical credibility with, TikTok-era buzz.
Right. It's almost like they're looking for a blend of old-world technique with new-world flashy marketing strategies, collaborative curators who invite resident choreographers, engage local composers, and even get creative with digital streaming, like that innovative Boston Ballet BB Your Home experiment.
Speaking of streaming, that's a bold move for traditional institutions. I mean, it sort of challenges the notion that ballet is this exclusive live theater experience.
Exactly. And it opens up art to a broader audience. Yet there's a twist. While charismatic directors like Garcia can attract fresh donor circles and media buzz, negative press, like what Volpi experienced, can shrink that support base overnight.
Right, so it's a high-risk, high-reward game both for the artistic output and for the business side of things.
Exactly. And then there's the issue of artistic continuity. For example, Miami City Ballet has been in a bit of a debate over balancing Balanchine purity with 21st century voices ever since Lourdes Lopez stepped down. Garcia's first season will really set the tone, commission counts, choreographer diversity, and even decisions like live music partnerships versus touring.
True, And given the tight scheduling in dance companies, such decisions can have ripple effects for years. And with Hamburg Ballet in its current state, they're in a scramble to appoint someone to stabilize the ship before their 50th Hamburg Ballet Days festival next July, right?
Yeah, that's brutal. Casting, set design, and marketing are typically locked in about 12 months ahead. With such a vacancy, they might need emergency programming or even guest residencies that come at a premium.
And that really underscores how little room for error there is in these high-stakes artistic environments.
Totally. And then, look at the impact on dancers. Imagine preparing for one role and then having to switch gears because a new director comes in with an entirely different stylistic preference. It's like your career trajectory could zigzag overnight.
Right.
Some dancers might even start hedging their bets by freelancing or pushing for exit clauses.
Yeah, it really disrupts the creative and personal development paths of the dancers. Although, I'll say, sometimes fresh leadership can uncover hidden potential. Remember when a director change helped catapult Isabella Boylston from core to principal in just 2 seasons back in 2014?
Absolutely. That's the silver lining here. Fresh eyes can sometimes spot talent that's been overlooked for years. It's a delicate balance, though, between injecting new energy and maintaining the cohesiveness of an ensemble.
And it also stresses the importance of emotional intelligence in leadership. A director might be a visionary artist, but if they can't connect with their dancers, the whole company suffers.
Right on. It's like artistic vision is king, but emotional intelligence might just be the queen that keeps the balance. And speaking of balance, these transitions are part of a broader shift. Boards are now leaning towards leaders who can juggle both tradition and modernity.
Yep, exactly. And as these new directors, like Garcia, step in, we'll be watching closely how they shape the company's styles, possibly even redefining repertory planning for an entire generation.
Definitely. And it's interesting too, while some companies might ride the wave of change with exciting new commissions and immersive digital experiences, others, like Hamburg, have to deal with the aftermath of a toxic leadership environment.
That contrast really highlights how critical it is for leadership transitions to be handled with care and a strong emphasis on communication and clarity.
Absolutely. And it's like from casting to scheduling, sends ripples across the entire artistic ecosystem. Next season's program lists, donor engagement, even audience perceptions, everything hangs on these leadership choices.
Yeah, so true. And it's fascinating how a single appointment can redefine the narrative for a company both artistically and financially.
Right, and I think that's the takeaway. Pause for a moment. Artistic vision, strategic planning, and personal engagement aren't isolated. They're all intertwined.
Exactly. And even amidst these rapid changes, there's an opportunity for companies to reinvent themselves, although not without risks.
For sure. And a respectful critique might be that while some argue younger directors bring necessary innovation, they might also lack the seasoned diplomatic skills required to unify and lead a well-established, sometimes fractious ensemble.
Yeah, that's a solid point. It's a tough balancing act. Fresh ideas versus proven management style. Artistic flair versus emotional nuance.
Right, and as we keep an eye on Garcia's first season, Hamburg's search for a stabilizer, and the broader generational turnover in ballet, it really shows that leadership in dance is as much about art as it is about human connection.
Absolutely. And the ongoing dialogue about these changes reminds us that behind every headline, there are countless personal and artistic stories playing out.
Exactly. So whether it's Miami's ambitious new chapter or Hamburg's efforts to heal and rebuild, the future of ballet remains as intriguing as it is dynamic.
Well said. And as always, thank you for diving into these deep yet exciting layers of the dance world.
Thank you, and thanks to everyone for joining us on this ride through shifting stages and boardroom ballots. Until next time.